Testing, 1, 2. Facebook.
Hey, hi, hi, hey, hi, hey, hi, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey, hi, hey, hey, oh. Hey, hi, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey, hi, hey, hi, hey, hi, hey, hi, hey, hi, hey, hi, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Fort Beck Community College, Uki Epino, yo, me too, Gashi, Dago, Kashka, Yogi, no, yo, Wata, Pepe, Hagi, Tabi, Haji, Ayabino, hey, yo, hey, yo. Hey, hi, ya, hey, hi, ya, hey, hi, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. Hey, hi, ya, hey, ya, yo. Hey, hi, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. Hey, hi, ya, hey, hi. Hey, hi, ya, hey, hi, ya, hey, hi, ya, hey, hi, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. Fort Beck Community College, Ugi Epino, yo, me too, Gashi, Dagush, Kashka, Yogi, Piano, yo, Wata, Pepe, Hagi, Tabi, Hachi, ya, Bino, hey, yo. Hey, hi, ya, hey, hi, ya, hey, ya, hey, hi, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. Hey, hi, ya, hey, ya, yo. Hey, ya, hey, hi, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. Hey, hi, ya, hey, hi. Hey, hi, ya, hey, hi, ya. Hey, hi, ya, hey, hey, ho, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Fort Beck Community College, Unki Epino, yo, me too, Gashi, Dagush, Kashka, Yogi, Piano, yo, Wata, Pepe, Hagi, Tabi, Hachi, ya, Bino, hey, yo. Hey, hi, ya, hey, hi, ya, hey, ya, hey, hi, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. Hey, hi, ya, hey, ya, yo. Hey, ya, hey, hi, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. Hey, hi, ya, hey, hi. Hey, hi, ya, hey, hi, ya, hey, hi, ya, hey, hey, ho, hey, yo, hey, yo. Fort Beck Community College, Uki Epino, yo, me too, Gashi, Dagush, Kashka, Yogi, Piano, yo, Wata, Pepe, Hagi, Tabi, Hachi, ya, Pino, hey, yo.
Oka. Oh, mitakipi. Okay, yushke wan chian kampi. Chante washte Johanna Page usapido. Okay, Elijah Hopkins demie. Wana wak chinja wakpa won spe wankantu ya dechia. Ya hripido mitakipi. Relatives, it's good to see you all here again. We're streaming at you live from Fort Peck Community College. Thank you for joining us here today. I want to welcome each and every one of you for joining our podcast here, where we discuss and talk about, try to anyways, mental health perspective, from a cultural perspective. And we have a couple of individuals that are very respected within the field, and their communities, culturally very strong. They always share some very good things about their personal experiences. I think it's very relatable to a lot of our students and our community members. So I do have a few announcements. We have a drawing. We want to announce from winners from last week. And then we also have a few events and workshops, cultural workshops, that I want to kind of plug while we have everybody's attention here. But if we could, actually, Earl, Ochekia Yagakikta Oyakihi.
Can you hear me, Toska?
Oh, Diana Chikudo.
Who's this new guy with no beard? Oh,
Wow.
you're shaking my low. It kind of scared me there.
Yeah.
Oh, one second.
Lottery numbers watching.
Wanaho.
Oh,
Oh.
Tokashila le. I bet you tela keva. You u Aku wakancha yak azukina. I bet you wopila takacha. Uyak upila. Utecheke. Tokashila wana. Uchima kana kejuto oyate. Lila menini chap chukuhe. Wahash lila yokme hihuni. Akuki charik tatruho. Ena ukte chahewo. Elila wopila taka. Ena ko oyate okitrak kena. Tuktek tuka o manip kena. Ena ushiach chehe wochika traknachona. Ena oki chiapi. Ni chap chahe na ukiayo. Na tuwa kena ko masat khanka uki. Ena isha. Oche kena khona na ukiaye. Na ukanan uchiuki tkhaki. Na wakaisha. Tiwahe uki tkhaki na kuhe. Ta kuku kalila utekhe kaya chash. Echegla uyuha pe oche kaka. So na kuicho zani ana Unicha chake tuake hena nija tuake hete chia khilake hena yo tele oche kya kagabna he khate topa ka etka oloma ish oche ka ye atash akuku washteshte vihonik at khokashila apetua khana apetha hawina ko Jakob Gehela, Lila Techia, Comptecha, you have communicated. Saat Hokashila. Tiwahiata, Shicha, Wanaka Pikash Nachti, Wazaka Shicha Nachti, Makoche Omanit. A cook Yachi, Techiunchi Apiantas, Toksahena Kate, Optiana, which was only was tested we are picking. Oshio Kapi Tokashila. Oh, khate topa kya chahe wo chika. Ebhina. O shekh chile gina jibna. Akhona kijan ko kya piye. Chahe o Tokashila. Oshio Kapi. Oh, mitaki was.
That's a good guy.
Wopida Chichie Dekshi. Beautiful prayer. Relatives, a few announcements real quick before we get started here. The winners, winner chicken dinner of the week 39 drawing. We have Cho Buffalo Chasers jacket up for grabs. And the winner of that FPCC jacket is none other than Georgie Gorno. Winner chicken dinner. Congratulations, Georgie. Then we also have a Kindle Fire tablet up for grabs. And the winner of that is Lori Ramirez, ladies and gentlemen. Winner, chicken dinner. Congratulations to Georgie and Lori. You can redeem those prizes at the War Eagle Vision building at main campus, or if you're not in the area, if you live outside of our community, just give them a call at 406-768-6370. Ask for Olivia, and they'll be able to email or mail those out to you. Just make sure and give us a legit mailing address, and we'll hook you up. And then one other thing I'd like to share, relatives, if we could real quick, try and share my screen. So if you can see that, we have a couple Cho workshops coming up here, ladies and gentlemen. We have a quilling workshop facilitated by master artist Gumdrops Laverne White Bear. Okay, she's very respected in that field. She really knows her stuff. So if you want to know one of our traditional Huichoja for the Wia Huichoja, quilling is one of the old school Ehana ways that we decorated things. So that's, again, facilitated by master artist Laverne White Bear. That'll be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. August 3rd and 4th at the Greet the Dawn Auditorium at the Poplar campus. You might switch around the location a little bit, but just mark that down if you're interested. I did send out a registration link. If you're a student, just use that link to register. If you did not get that link, just email myself at ehopkins@fpcc.edu, and we can register you for that. We also have a Chancheja Gahapi workshop, drum making workshop, facilitated by master artiste Earl Bullhead, ladies and gentlemen. Earl Bullhead will be in the house at Wachinjawakpa. He'll be showing us how it's done in a good way. Again, that'll be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. August 10th and 11th. That'll be at the Building Trades section of the Voc Ed building at Poplar campus. So super awesome opportunity. We want to revive these traditional art forms and ways of knowing, and it's opened up to everybody, completely free. But relatives, there is limited seating, limited supplies available. So again, check that out. If you have any questions, just shoot us an email, send us a message on Facebook, and we'll hook you up. So actually, Tommy joined us, was not expecting him. I heard he was at a real menwear pink golf tournament or something, but he graced us with his presence. So that's really good to see you here, Dex. We weren't expecting you, so that's awesome. But I guess I'll turn the reins over to you and Dexy Earl, wherever you guys want to take us. Hirama.
Hey, Earl, did you hear them when they played that thing when they were clapping? Ohia sa Emie. Oh, we were the champions this morning. We won that golf tournament.
Oh, I'll be darned, huh?
I just got it. I heard you in the house when I come in. So
I heard you're chasing some khas around.
Oh, yeah,
chasing white balls.
Yeah. Oh, kind of numpe like a boy to a wopila chicha fellow. I was saying that as I don't know if they understood me, but they're sure smiling at me anyway. No. Hey, Toshka, Elijah, I was talking with Che this morning, and he wants to talk a little bit about the story of origin, and I think that's so applicable. But he wants to share it in Lakota, and then he'll share it in English, just so that they understand that, and he'll try to explain it literally so that we can relate to it in a more contemporary perspective. Is that a good thing to say, Che?
Oh, gosh.
I hope you all can hear me good and clear, because Tommy, I could hardly hear.
Oh,
I can pick you out.
can you hear me now?
Anyway, am I on, Isho?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
Ah,
Anyway,
Diana, chico. Oh,
okay. All right. I've always been interested in the kind of things that we never got to learn when we were young. Well, I'm sure it was there, but we hardly ever heard anybody talk about it in our community where I was raised. And so, as the years went by, um, I found some people talking about some work that had been done out of Chamberlain, South Dakota. And so when I followed up on it, they call it the Sioux creation story. And it was transcribed and illustrated by a guy named Thomas E. Sims. Now, I don't know who that is. But when I read it and went through it, and so I did a rewrite, and I labeled it my rewrite by Earl and B. Khathankapha, which is supposed to be Khathankapha, buffalo head,
oh,
but the misinterpretation of it became bullhead.
oh.
So I did this in 1994. So I'm going to give you a little taste of how I pursued and how having people remember you got to work on the proper pronunciation of words. So here's how it sounds. It says, Dakoni yukheshni, itchokamna iaki yukhe, nanahit kawaki wakat chanka. And before, there never used to be nothing. And so whatever existed before, the only one was Ia, Yukhe. Nanahit kawaki wakat chanka. And the spirit was the great spirit. So Ia basically, to me, refers to stars, stones, that becoming the universe. Often people say that's the Big Bang Theory. So anyway, the second says, Omakha yetu na hawi yetu na ampetu yucheshni. There was no direction, there was no night, there was no day, only Ia. So ha eha yuche ash dakonishni. The darkness of night existed, but it was really nothing. Oyuch paza ki e. It says, Ia woshak eki yuha na woshak eki he tchawe el yanke na tchawe ki tcho. So Ia's blood was blue, and his strength was in that blood. But Ia yokshicha, awaji isake chi unkchi, but he was lonely. He needs somebody for company. He needs something. He was lonely. Ash Ia isam tueni yukha okihishni kislolia ea etaha ichi shni hatash. So he knew that he had to give of himself, his blood. He knew that it had to come from him. To me, this is powerful stuff, you know.
Oh, that's it too.
Yeah, etaha ichi hatash. Kaweki minita yu teki slokia. Anako kaweki minita kiuki he ichu a kawosh ake kiko inakhinakte bisloliake. So he was well aware what he was about to sacrifice, but because he was so isolated and all by himself, he was willing to do that. So ia kanki yuha gluha. So he opened up his veins. Sha chaweki hinapke. So in the process, his blood, which was blue, started to hemorrhage, so to speak, come out. Now chawosh akeki hinapke. It was visible, it came out. Weki ohea namacha ihankeki. kahe na maka ihanke kihe ioptea isam ta kunishni oyok paze echela. And so by giving up his blood, became earth, maka. And ihanke ki kahe na maka ihanke kihe ioptea isam ta kunishni. So now he had someone to be with.
Made him happy. Yeah.
I think Yochpi was Atela. So that was only Makha for a duration of time.
Huh.
So I kind of give you a little taste about it. And it's a good story. Before any other thing Ian was, and his spirit was Wakanthaka. Before the 4 times Ian was, how was then, but she was not a thing. She was only the blackness of darkness. Ian possessed all powers, and then the powers were in his blood, and his blood was blue. Ian grew lonely and longed for another. Ian knew that there could be none other unless he took from himself. To take from himself, he would have to let his blood flow from him. And he knew that as the blood would leave him, so would his powers. Ian opened all his veins and his blood left him. And Ian saw that his powers went from him in the blood and formed the edge of Makah. And where the edge of Makah, there was no beyond. It was only the darkness of Ha. So Ian said, Nuwe, so be it. And this was the first sound. We learned that as a little boy. That was one of the first words. The first Lakota word ever spoken was the word Nuwe. And it has to do with flow, you know. But anyway, that's kind of a taste of it. So my intentions are to record this stuff and get them out. So maybe someday we can get together and do all of that.
We will.
We got the equipment, that's for sure. Yeah. So it makes it very interesting to see that a lot of people put work into this. You had to find people that were familiar with all the terminology, to find the correct words, and the translations, and also the pronunciation of the Lakota terms. And so it came out of Chamberlain, St. Joe's School. It was a Catholic place. So some goodness came out of it. And to me, when I go back and think about my interest in it, was to pursue and make sure that pronunciations were done correct. So I'm still learning a lot of stuff yet. Probably be learning for the rest of my life, but I do pursue it. I think it's so cool to learn all these new words, you know. So anyway, so I thought I'd throw that at you guys. Right now, my house looks like it's a hoarder's house because I'm doing everything with my paperwork, songs. These I'm finding songs I forgot about many years now. I don't know. So much needs to be archived. I got the Lakota creation story from the emergence of the Black Hills by Ala Joe, who did it all in Lakota. And I asked him to do that for me. He did it. And I also have another recordings that he gave me. It said that someday I would teach these things. And he was right. Anyway, his grandma was 9 years old when she was in a camp, and she spoke about what she experienced and what took place when Sitting Bull was arrested. It was all in Lakota. I mean, these are things that are, how would you say, almost forgotten. Probably nobody has anything like that. But yet it came to me. And so if we can find means in which to get all these people who are willing to work, geez, we can develop some heavy stuff, man. Can you imagine that?
You see, I think that's really important. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me, Toshka?
Okay. It's not very clear, but we can kind of hear you.
Can you hear me better when I speak into this?
Not really.
It just must be coming off my computer. But anyway, hopefully we'll get this recorded. But that's what it's all about, and that's the diversity that we'd like people to understand. We have our stories of origin. That's just one of them. But there's many, but they're all based on the spiritual aspect of who we are and that humble way of living like Ikchewichasha. And then also, what people don't understand, we have stories about the end of time as well. You know, there at the end of time, there's going to be 4 red days and 4 blue days. Yeah, Bado. Did you ever hear that one, Chia?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, see, it completes that circle. So it's not like we're just go in a direction that is just dokchinksha any old way. No, it's a definite direction, and it has to do with that circle of life, that changleshka. And so as we do these things, there's a certain way in which we think, and that's what Chia was trying to help us understand too. And I try to share that with as many as I can. Is we think differently uh, based on natural law, but it's in our blood. It's genetically something the way we are. That's our natural way of thought, and a lot of it has to do with developing one's character to be strong, to always be a representative of yourself and your family and of your tribe and your community or whatever the case may be. But it's a different process. And then of course our non-Indian relatives, they're pursuant of kind of capitalistic, materialistic approach, which isn't bad because evidently it's good for them. That makes them happy. That makes them comfortable. That makes them less stressful if they have more of what they think they should have. That's fine. That's okay. What I think has happened is these two have converged, these two different standards of life, and then they become they start comparing them, and they shouldn't. They should understand that they're parallel, okay? Because our moral way of life is different than theirs, but yet it's not wrong. Their moral way of life is different than ours, but yet it's not wrong because it works for them, eh? And so if that's what makes them happy, then we're happy for them. But see, all of these things, we have our own history, we have our own future, we have our own way of doing things that makes us comfortable. And that's, I think that's what this can really help us understand, that diversity based on that uniqueness can and will become an enrichment and an enhancement to for the sake of the growth of our children. And I think as we do these things, people will begin to understand Ekchewi Chashapi is a common man's perspective, but at the same time, it doesn't mean common man per se, it means common people. Like we're Ekchewi Chasha, uh, but that means common people. That's just the term that we use to express that. That includes men and women. But so when we aspire to these things, we need to understand, like Chia was saying, Berehichia. You know, what does that mean? Does that mean humble yourself? Does that mean make yourself strong? Well, it's common to understand that our intent, the intent of us, of our descriptions, of our stories, of our way of life, is to become the individual that we should be based on our purpose and our dedication while we spend time here. Because again, it's that preparation that we're getting ready for, and it becomes very individual. We don't want to be afraid of that mystery of death, but we want to prepare for it. And see, that's really different. And again, some of the things I said in the past, like my dad said, I've never seen a trailer hitch on a hearse. We tease about stuff like that, but yet it has so much meaning. And that is so true. You can't take what you've acquired here with you when you go to the other side. So it's kind of stuff like that. But we do have stories not only of origin, but of the end of times whenever that comes. And we don't want to say it's coming next week or in 2022. We don't say that. We just prepare for it. So to go beyond that fear. Does that make sense to you, Toshka? Can you relate to
That's
something
all
like
right.
that?
That's all right. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we
Oh,
get our age, Mother Nature tells us that it's a little chilly. We gotta have the blanket on. Yeah. Toes get cold right away.
Yeah.
Fingertips get cold right away. Coffee.
Yeah.
Make me some hot tea.
Something. Yeah.
Try to stay away from too many pills. But I'm kind of anxiously awaiting the school year to start so I can work with the little guys again, the little singers. I'll catch up to them this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to be moving into the middle school now. But anyway, I wrote down the date for the workshop. So preparation time, somewhere along there, we set up a date. We can order or do whatever we got to get to.
Earl, I wanted to order those that book you wanted that you said a while back, several months ago, there was a book.
Dance Drum of the Ojibwa.
What's it? What's that?
Dance Drum of the Ojibwa.
Drum of the Ojibwa?
Dance Drum of the Ojibwa. Ogibwa.
Dance Drum of the Ojibwa. I'll order several copies. We'll have some on hand.
Thomas Bennett Jr. They come in paperback. That's the cheapest one.
So
That's kind of misleading because a friend of mine, I gave him a copy because I got a couple copies when I went to DC. So I gave him one. He said, "What does this have to do with us?" I said, "Read it,
that's yours.
study
Yeah.
it."
So in that understanding, the origin of the drum, does it come from the Ojibwe,
Came from the Santee.
the Santee?
Yeah.
Oh.
But see, that drum traveled so much from their community that it touched base with a lot of tribes out in the east,
Yeah.
Minnesota, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and kind of made its journey. So that's
Now, what is your understanding of those two styles of drums? Remember the drums with the rim on it? That was considered a trophy. And then the ones with the hide, was that considered a ceremonial drum, or how
the
did
first,
they?
the first construction of a drum was made out of an abandoned military wash tub, and it was deer hide. But deer hide has this elasticity to it where it goes flat.
Yeah.
You have to warm it up all the time. So that's what the lantern man's duty was, and the fireman, to keep that drum warm and hot through the sessions.
Keep it on.
Each progression of songs required certain narratives. Its history, songs explained. It took about 12 days for that drum to go into a community. Traveling time and explanation. You sit down and you sing the songs, and it's narrated, and translated. And then they went into another days of the guys who are going to learn the song to sit down with them and sing with them. You go through it again, and then the final phase was that they just sat back and listened to what they taught. And so those in the community that were going to carry on would do that themselves. So a lot of those drums traveled all over, and they're all traditional drums. And the thing of it is that you go back and look at that, and each one of them had a pipe amulet.
Yeah.
Or prayed over and all that. I've only seen it once in my lifetime. When Winnipeg, 3 little feathers, an elderly man, and he brought his family in. They sat down. There's dancing and there's singing going on, but they sat down. The auxiliad, and they passed the pipe around, and they're ready to sing.
Oh.
Traditional drum.
Yeah.
Off the ground, because it says that is not to touch the earth. That is God. You know,
Oh,
the stakes that are in there represented the directions, the feathers, the symbolism, and all that. It's all process, and rarely do you ever see that anymore. You know, that's the only time I've ever seen it was in Winnipeg. 3 little feathers they were called. And then the song that they sang was a Lakota song. I sing it. Yeah. So anyway, so that history that goes associated is all in that book that'll get you guys to read.
Mm.
It's surprising. A lot of people don't know about that. What was the occasion for the shave and the haircut? 6 bits?
well, I kind of got over myself and I said, oh, crap, I better quit being lazy and take all this Hutterite stuff off.
Shla, né?
Yeah, yeah.
Shla. But anyway, so if there is copies of this stuff you want, I mean, I can send it to you guys.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Because practice reading it and then get good at it, you can teach it. Because it is, all right, I would say a lot of research done on it. And then the other stuff that needs to be recorded, I think that some point somewhere I got to make a decision to go with it. But I'd rather see us do it. You know, we're hitting different generations here.
Yeah, yeah.
You're hitting my generation, Tommy's generation, your generation, and all these students coming up. And we're all part of that life cycle of the drum, you know. We're all part of it, no matter how you look at it. We're all interrelated there. So the only issue is that the energy, you know, the interest and the knowing the need for it, that's what's we have. We got that. There's so many other history that, you know, before I forget, I'm trying to get to Idaho, so I might take off from in August from there to go to Fort Hall. I have relatives out there, and there's a gentleman there I'd like to find and meet with because he gave me some wings one time. Alex Williams. So I'm going to go look for him and see if I can get him to get me more family history because one of my grandmas married a Frenchman named McKee. Some say McGee, but he lived at the original campsite of what Fort Peck used to be. We call it Melk's Camp, Milk River.
Yeah.
And we moved from because the river was eating away at the banks of the village. And a reminder too, I was in a library there at Poplar. It was down in one of the buildings there west of the campus there, on the campus there. And in the basement, they had all the library information. And they had some index cards there of people who traveled through there, received issues way back in the 1890s, 94, 95. So there's really some important information in there. So it'd be good to find that. I thought it'd be very interesting, but I didn't want to be accused of stealing, so I didn't write notes or nothing, but I do remember it being there. So I told Tommy about it.
Yeah, that's what Lenore Reddock was trying to protect because she understood the importance of that, eh? And people just went through and took information, whatever they want. But the college does have responsibility for it now, Elijah. They got it stored somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, I have to check into that. They have the archives is connected to the library, and I know Diane Upi, I think, is charge of that over there. So we'll have to visit with them, see what they have.
My gosh, it's a little much. That was good that we got rain here.
Yeah.
Jesus, these are really dry. The weeds are really tall.
One here too. My God, you wanna ualo, but 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a big front.
Oh, coming this way.
Right. Okay, now.
No. That's what the white man told me, but my grandfather
far
told
as-
me way yesterday.
Facilities management. Is that on campus? Or do you want me to do the presentation? Is it on campus?
Right now it's gonna be at the Voc Ed building. It's kind of by where Tommy lives.
By where I live, right across the street.
Yeah, right across the street. That way, we could run the saws, make all kinds of noise, beat on the drum. We don't have to worry about bothering anybody. There's a big facility there, and there's some classrooms, and man, we'll bring in some food. So
I'll get there on the day before then.
Yeah, we'll get all set up.
Yeah, but we can get that planned as we go. So.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so I've got it all scheduled out, ready to go. So what needs to be done the most is that I have these 2 cameras. You want me to bring all of that or no?
No. I mean, if you want to, you could. But I have some stuff here, and I'll be taking pictures, and there's a photo release form for participants. They'll have to sign that, but we'll get a little bit of video footage. But I don't think it's feasible for us to record the whole thing, but we'll record parts, the opening and different aspects. So yeah, for sure.
And then did you see Becky's chat? Is it okay to bring her kids 7 years old? Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. Might as well.
For sure.
Yeah. I put out that flyer or press release yesterday about this Native Arts grant. Next thing you know, man, I'm getting these. They're wanting to bring kids up from Nebraska. Yeah. Some Indian kids. There's this mentor program there. So what we're doing, having a far reach. It was more or less designed for adults, but I don't see why we can't have these little Hokushina can come over and it could be part of it.
I remember more than the adults.
Yeah.
I memorized more than the adults.
Yeah.
Lunges.
Yeah. Heck yeah, that'd be good, Becky. You did bring your kids. That's our future.
I'm getting some songs coming into my head that I've never heard before. I don't know where they're coming from, but I gotta record those. I gotta get that busy. So I'll have all that ready when we get over there. But I'd like to record those 3 songs I told you guys about. So I want to make it a real good quality recording, you know.
Yeah.
Song about mourner song, good health song, and a history song. I'm getting to I can start talking a lot longer now. Yeah. So anyway, so how much time we got left here?
About 8 minutes. We got about 8 minutes. So
does anybody have any questions about?
And get your Hunka songs ready, because they want me to do a Hunka ceremony during the time that you're here. We'll do that.
Oh, that's be cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I can do that. That's no problem. That's all memorized.
Yeah.
You know, the first time I experienced when I was studying and didn't thought nothing of it, I was in Portage la Prairie. And I was with a drum group called Buffalo Lake. And I just asked me to come along. Yeah, they just asked me to come along. So I went. And here, the family wanted they're naming somebody, and they wanted a Hunka song. And I remember they said Hunka, and that's in the Densmore collection. And so I just went over that a few times, but I had it in my head. And so those guys were scrambling around, you know. How's it go? How does it go? And I'm kind of baffled of what they're going to do because it's almost time for it.
Yeah.
And what do you guys ask you to do in this? They want us to sing the Hunka song. I said, well, I have something I found in a Densmore collection. So how's it go? So I started singing it, you know, tell them how many times you go to the hookah part, or day
Yeah.
hookah. And so
The
they picked it up,
direction.
and
Yeah.
so sang it. And little did I know that what I was preserving, in a sense, because all our elderly are gone, is going to be the beginning of a lot of that naming ceremonies using that song.
Yeah.
But there is still one more that I haven't found. There's two songs that go with that. One existed, but that person who had it uh, journeyed on. So it has to do with, and I did hear it one time, Big Mike Oldtime, in the TP Soul. So it has the word TP Soul in there. So I can find the original for that, then I'll have that set. But, you keep your mind busy, those things are in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll find it, yeah. It'll show up. So, so what kind of expectations do you have as far as the amount of people are going to come to that? You keep me in touch with it?
Stodoaishni. But I would imagine we have seating in some of those areas for 15 people. I've already had about 4 people register already, but they'll start getting some more headway. Ideally, we would have 10 to 15, so that way it's comfortable. Everybody has their supplies, and it's comfortable in the room. But we'll accommodate pretty much whoever shows up.
Yeah.
Try to anyway.
Cool. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome. Oh,
Yeah, and then the week before is
any
Quilling.
other?
Huh?
Yeah. That's almost not very many people do that anymore.
Yeah.
Can't find the porcupines.
Yeah. Then we're gonna have a sweat and a naming ceremony too. Several names you gotta give up.
Uh,
And yeah.
porcupine, there's an Abu song comes from that story about the porcupine. If need be, I could share that story too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Abu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first daughter's, or Enila's named after that song. I mean, that word in that song about that porcupine.
Yeah.
Where it came from. So keep your ears open all the time and mind open, and things show up. And especially when they don't show up. The team silos were hard to find.
Yeah.
But anybody need some June berries?
Oh.
Yeah.
Got a gallon here. I'll just save it and bring it when I come.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I got a gallon that I bought. And there's a couple more I can probably get if I kind of butter up to my missus. Hey, baby.
Yeah. Hook it up.
Honey. Can't say the word deer yet, though. If I say deer, I see one jumping over a fence or running over one.
Ugh.
But I'll see what she's got, because this year they're hard to find here. Juaniche over here.
Yeah.
But Fort Totten, they're picking them.
There's lots here too, but I was still hunting single stem sage, and God, it's just too dry up here. But
we're gonna go out. So if I can, I'll try to bring some sage too.
Yeah.
We're gonna go out because you have to get them and you got to shake the seeds out.
Yeah.
Just shake them out and then you get them packaged and seal them up so you have that good smell, stamina.
Oh.
Yeah. Single stem.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. What they call broadleaf sage. Yeah, but
Making golf ball pins out of them or something. Or
some teas out of them and sacred teas or what? Yeah, we slapped on one night game this morning. That was pretty cool. We had myself and Brock and his mom, LaFawn. And then we had his daughter with us. She's only like 7 or 8. Gee, she hit it good. She helped us out.
What was your score?
We shot 3 under.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Geez, I kind of embarrassed myself. Every time I made those putts, they all clap and just be happy. So I just I just kind of acting some way, acting true, like don't do that. I tell them. Shit, they kept clapping and jumping around for me.
Yeah, it's relaxing.
Wow. Well, it's
Funny ways to
oh,
get together, get it all done.
That's it too. Okay.
Oha.
Oha.
Mitakipi, we are at the top of the hour. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week, relatives. Petuashteyo hapo, doksta kewachiaka piktado.
Oh, what's that?
Hey ha ya hey ha ya hey ya hey ha yo hey yo hey yo hey ha ya hey ya ya hey ya hey ha yo hey yo hey yo hey ha ya 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 hey yo hey yo Fort Beck Community College Ukiepino yo me too gashi dagush kashka yogi piano yo wata pevi Hagi ktabi ichachia ya bino hey yo hey ha ya hey ha ya hey ya hey ha yo hey yo hey ha ya hey ya hey ha yo hey yo hey ha ya hey ha hey ha ya hey ha ya hey ha ya hey ha yo Fort Beck Community College Ukiepino yo me too gashi dagush kashka yogi piano yo wata pevi hagi ktabi ichachia ya bino hey yo hey ha ya hey ha ya hey ya hey ha yo hey yo hey ha ya hey ya yo hey ya hey yo hey yo hey ha ya hey ha ya hey ha ya hey ha ya hey ha hey yo Fort Beck Community College Ukiepino yo me too gashi dagush kashka yogi piano yo wata pevi hagi ktabi ichachia ya bino